because I know he's a Rams fan.
Yeah, for sure.
The Clippers do have red in their uniforms, though.
But
they also have blue.
But
Yeah,
I think
but he was friends with
I think you know, like I said, that's a good question. I would love to ask YG what his basketball team is.
Yeah, for sure.
And is he a Kings fan? Because he was at the Kings game the other night with Gavin Lux and Todd Gurley. They were all at the Kings game. Matt Beatty and all them guys.
Wasn't like a couple weeks ago they had like a Rams night at the Kings game?
Yeah. But none. I didn't. Who was at that? Because that's the game I missed. But I think 2 nights ago, it was John Johnson III, Todd Gurley, YG, Matt Beatty, Gavin Lux. So LA was well represented.
Yeah, they great for LA
for hockey, right?
Yeah,
and they chugged beers, and it was a beautiful thing to watch.
But yeah, man, we're on an epic tangent.
Black people love hockey. Like we watch it.
Yeah, I used to play it. So
really,
I was a kid.
So
how'd you get into that?
I just wanted to do something different. I mean, everybody was playing basketball or football, and I was like, you know, you go to different schools, you get around different areas of people, and they start talking about it. You're like, okay, what's that about? So you start out, you know, and I was like 5th grade.
Was you an enforcer? They make you an enforcer?
Eventually, you know, you got to make the black guy the enforcer, right?
Yeah, they always do.
Hey, you're the black kid. Okay, you get over there. You get over there, and you just check. I swear to God. Goals. When I played in the league that I played in, my mom still has it somewhere, but I logged in the most penalty minutes in one season.
Wow.
Yeah,
typecasted.
They gave stuff out there like that.
Typecasted.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, not to get on quote unquote a tangent. But
that's what this podcast is about.
You know, but it's a beautiful thing when you start seeing other groups of people into other sports outside of what the typical sports are. Yeah.
So on that note, you know, that's kind of why I wanted to bring you here this week. You know, you set out a tweet, you know, just about the state of black coaches in the NFL. All the vacancies have been, well, there's still one, but there's already reported rumors about the Browns.
Spagnuolo interviewed with them, and they're not going to hire. I don't think they're going to hire another black coach.
But yeah, man. So why don't you just start with what the tweet was, what you were feeling?
This man took his jacket off.
Why you felt the urge to send out that tweet and all that? Just go into
and please channel that anger because I was talking to
these views are expressed solely by the views of Nick Hamilton. That way y'all still have a show at the end of this week.
It's cool. We've said plenty of it. It's all good. This is a safe space for honest talk.
And that way Keith and PG and Jackie and them will still have a network by the time we finish.
That's facts. That's facts.
But no, man, what really pissed me off is the fact that when I saw the judge guy, that's what I call him.
Thank you.
They could have got Judge Joe Brown or Judge Judy for all I give a damn. But when I saw that name run across my ticker taker on the bottom of my screen, and I said, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? They hired a wide receivers and a punt returner coach, and you had no wide receivers for Tom Brady, which is why Tom Brady looked as bad as he did in New England. What the hell is going on? So then I said, wait a minute, okay. Now there's another. Then I saw the Carolina hire with Matt Rule, right? So I'm saying to myself, wait a minute now. Is there or is there not such a thing called the Rooney Rule, or is that something a figment of our imagination? The problem I have with that is this. I don't know Matt Rule. I don't know the judge guy, right? What I do know is this. There are only 3 black coaches in the entire NFL. Out of 32 teams, there are only 3 teams that have black coaches. That's Anthony Lynn with the Chargers. That's Brian Flores with the Miami Dolphins. And my man Mike Tomlin with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is it. Now, and I was pissed off at Dallas because Dallas did something that was so disrespectful and just so blatantly flagrant. The fact that you're going to interview Marvin Lewis knowing good in the hell well you had no intention of hiring Marvin Lewis. You know no team was going to hire Marvin Lewis because the dude was 0-7 in the playoffs. The dude ain't sniffed the draws of a playoff win ever in his career. So why in the hell are you going to sit up there and make a mockery of a rule that should be enforced was to bring some type of equality as far as when it comes to the NFL? And because and the problem really lies, what most people don't talk about is the fact they had to bring in a rule that still is relevant today in 2020 because of the lack of diversity and equality when it comes to black coaches and coordinators. The problem is this. Even if you don't hire that particular black coordinator or assistant coach or what have you, his name gets put in the certain circles. So the next time an opportunity presents itself, now when that black coach or that coordinator comes up for the interview, they're going to ask him, hey, have you ever interviewed for an NFL coaching job? They can say, yes, I interviewed for the Cleveland job, or I interviewed for the New York Giants job. Well, how far did you get? Well, this is how far I got. Now there's some familiarity. So now you have an opportunity to say, well, hey, this is what I learned from this experience, because we all are victims of experience. What I mean by that is simply this. We all learn from either the mistakes or the things that we didn't get right on the first time on the test. So when we take the test again, we learn from that, so we'll score a higher score and be able to get over. That's the same thing with when it comes to these NFL interviews. So when I looked at Carolina giving 7 years to Matt Rule, who had no NFL experience, but I look at Bieniemy in Kansas City. I look at Byron Leftwich as a coordinator, and several other black coordinators and coaches that they have in the NFL who don't even get an opportunity to interview for these positions. That's the problem I have with the NFL. And this is why I said in my tweet, I said that the NBA has been more progressive and evolving in the last several decades than any other sport, whether it's the NHL, whether it's Major League Baseball. Because when you look at Major League Baseball, when we look at how many people are in Major League Baseball as in ownership, there's only 2 black owners who happen to be partial owners, I might add, in Magic Johnson with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you have Derek Jeter with the Miami Marlins. That's it.
We count Jeter?
Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I didn't know we counted Jeter.
His daddy's black. He black.
It felt like the whole last couple years of his career, nobody brought that up. The media just never mentioned, like, he's black, right?
They don't want to.
That especially in
the problem. So the responsibility lies on a I would say a plethora of factors. One, the media does not put enough pressure on these owners and ownership groups that have the opportunity to hire black coaches, because we are scared of offending white people. Number 2,
sadly,
and losing relationships.
What we still think are bearing relationships.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the fact that these players have got to start stepping up and saying, wait a minute, how come I don't have somebody that looks like me that's qualified? Because there are a lot of qualified coordinators and coaches. Now, you don't have a problem bringing up some college coach who happens to be white from the college ranks, who may not have been that great, but then
Baylor got blown out by Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, by the way.
But you don't have a problem with that. But you have a problem with, we don't know if such and such has enough experience. Wait a minute. So you tell me Matt Rule has more experience and has never held an NFL position ever in his life?
They used the fact that he was an assistant offensive line coach for the Giants years ago, and I'm like,
that does what? So you mean to tell me Eric Bieniemy, who's responsible probably for Patrick Mahomes' success in the NFL, along with Andy Reid, because I don't want to disrespect Andy Reid, because Andy Reid has done a magnificent job. He's had the smarts to hire Eric Bieniemy as far as keeping him on board, so I give him credit for that. But also too, you got guys that have no previous NFL experience. I mean, they were talking about guys that had no NFL experience. Urban Meyer, Lincoln Riley.
Thank you.
But where are the? Where are the coaches? But where are the coordinators, and where are the coaches that are in the college ranks that get an opportunity to go to the NFL ranks? The problem with the Rooney Rule is there's too many open holes of people getting around it. The problem is
being lazy, like
nepotism.
You said. It's
number one thing.
It's not doing your research.
It's fear.
Right? It's going to Marvin Lewis because he's a name, but
that's the only black dude they go to.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's
Jim Caldwell.
Lazy.
They don't go to him anymore.
Lazy.
Well, here's the thing too. When you look at what
Matt Patricia's trash.
When you look at what exactly, and when you look at it, so many others. I mean, you got Cliff Kingsbury, who never had NFL experience.
Didn't win at Texas Tech.
Went to USC for all of 30 days. Arizona came calling, and he went straight there. Now, who was interviewing for the Arizona job? How many other coordinators did you pass over because you wanted this dude?
And they had a black head coach before that.
And Steve,
gave him 1
Steve
year.
Wilkes
They
gave him 1 year.
Because
no help.
because what the message is that we are not smart enough to lead black men on the field.
Or no,
That
we're not
is the
smart enough to lead white men.
No, black, because the NFL is over 70% black. So what I'm saying is we're not smart enough to lead black players and black men on the field, because the problem with that is, oh my God, you may develop a relationship with them. What if you guys are going to? What are we going to conspire to do something against the white players? Like, what the hell is that about?
That's dating back to slavery, though. That mindset.
But because look at the ownership, and again, I think the NFL has done some good things as far as.
So what do you make of the Dolphins? Because the Dolphins are the blackest front office in the league.
That's the petri dish.
But also too, let's not be distracted by that, because Stephen Ross is just like the rest of them.
That's what. Yeah.
Stephen Ross is no different than the rest of them.
Yep.
But Stephen Ross is smart enough to make you think that if I put these black folks in position, I'm down for the cause. No, you're not. You much further from the cause than anybody else.
You might fire him after next year.
It's just like when you walk into an office building. The first person you see is that administrative assistant. 9 times out of 10, if they're black, that makes you think, oh, there's some diversity here. Yeah. No, it's not. That's just a perception.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that.
That's just a perception. It's the same thing with that. It's the same thing now. I'm glad Brian Flores got an opportunity to coach in the NFL. I think he's a good coach. I think he's done very well for the limited resources that he's had in Miami, because their whole thing was to tank, and they ended up winning more games than they were expected. So I give him a lot of credit for that. The same thing with Mike Tomlin. Going back to when I talked about giving an opportunity, that wasn't their top choice of hiring coaches. Mike Tomlin got an opportunity, went into the Pittsburgh Steelers office and blew them away. And they said, we cannot let this guy get away, because if we do, somebody else is going to hire him, and we can't afford that. Now,
how many 13 years later?
Now, how many
Super Bowl ring?
And has never had a losing season. Not one losing season.
And was playing with a 4th-string quarterback.
But he's on the hot seat every year.
But here's the problem.
But Matt Patricia still has a job.
Exactly. And how many other black coaches and coordinators have been passed over? How many Mike Tomlins are out there? How many Anthony Lynn's are out there?
Remember Ray Horton?
I think the problem is, though, we don't even really know, because a lot of them don't even get coordinator spots. A lot of them are long-time, 10-year receiver coaches, 10-year assistant offensive coordinators, assistant O-line coaches, and they never get that even next step, the middle management position.
That's what I love what Arizona State's doing. He got a bunch of black coaches down there. They just got the grad assistant Chris Hawkins. He played at USC.
And this is what I'm saying.
Antonio Pierce is going to be a great head coach one day. Hopefully at USC.
Yeah, he damn sure ain't gonna be. He damn sure wasn't a hell of a high school coach. So hopefully there's
It ended badly at Poly. I mean, once they lost Juju in them.
Yeah, you know Poly don't play. Yeah, anybody that's listening in Southern California, Long Beach Poly is one of the top schools when it comes to athletics, and it's been that way for decades.
They lost transfers though.
But when they call for your job, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
We're gonna have a because I've interviewed like high school coaches in the area, like Coach Clark, losing his head coach, and yeah, it's crazy to think like there's 3 black head coaches in this area: Hawthorne, Lusinger, Lawndale. One of them has a state title, and the other ones are trying to bring the schools back.
I mean, like I said, it's not just about hiring black head coaches because they're black. It's about hiring qualified coaches who happen to be black. And there are a lot more qualified coaches that happen to be black. And see, this is the trick bag we get put into too. And I say we as black folks, but especially black head coaches, what they do is they give them the sorriest teams and they give them the least amount to work with and say, okay, they expect you to walk on water and crap ice cream. And then when you don't do it, oh, sheesh, don't
like
even start on that. But, I mean, look at Arizona, like we talked about. Look at Denver. Yeah. You know,
I forgot about Vance Joseph. He really
Vance
got
Joseph.
A raw deal.
He got the raw. I mean, he got it with no Vaseline.
They still ain't winning.
And I like Drew Lock.
That's the only quarterback
I like Drew
Elway's hit on.
I like Drew Lock.
Elway got lucky with Drew Lock.
Well, you know, you stay at the crap table long enough, you might get lucky.
So, Nick, what's the solution, man? What's the solution for the NFL, for black head coaches?
Because it's bad in college, too.
Because
Oh,
honestly,
worse
I
in
mean,
college.
you're giving the NBA credit, but honestly, I wouldn't even give the NBA that much credit because there's still a lot of assistants who've been long. Like, why isn't Sam Cassell head coach?
Why did? I mean, he is ugly.
I don't.